Welcome back, ladies and gents, for the final time of the entire event. We're about to jump into it. Third and decisive map in the grand finals to find out who's going to have the bragging rights and the 30K. They've already both qualified for the major qualifier. That part is done, but it's came down to this, man. Dust. Renegades, not only the 30K, not only the bragging rights, maybe they can lift the curse of TyLoo.
Again, this is the third time these brands have fought each other in a row in a minor in the Asian region in the grand finals, and it's always been TyLoo to walk away with the victory. This time around, they have forced a third map. There's, again, deja vu from the upper bracket final, really. You know, Mirage going to TyLoo, Cash going to Renegades. So we're here again, this time the third map to decide things will be Cobblestone rather than Overpass. So it will be a different ending as far as what map is played on, but will it be a different ending on who walks away with the title? That's going to be the question we have to answer now.
That is the key question that we are going to find out within the next map. Must be mentioned as well, as you highlighted, these two maps were played the last time the best of three was going on, but the score lines this time around have been much closer. We had a 16-8 first time around, this time way closer between the two teams, and very much the same thing as well for Mirage. So, Cobblestone, what can we expect from Renegades on the T side? We have seen them play it before earlier on in the event, but is there anything that you'd like to highlight before we get into this fully?
Be Asa or Eustilos territory, and actually they'll commit both of them to drop down room sometimes, so they really like to create space there. Asa, for as long as I can remember, has been a huge playmaker on this map from that particular area of the map, so I expect that a lot. Other than that, a lot of your typical stuff, your standard B smoke wall executes, your standard 1-4 type splits on either side of the map. Obviously, Nifty being dynamic with the AWP is going to be a factor through a lot of this. But they really do make drop down room quite the focus, so that would be maybe just kind of something a little bit special about them on it.
All right, definitely something to watch out for later on. Of course, in the pistol, all bets are off in terms of drop. Sometimes you'll see teams go hell for leather down there. Sometimes you'll see a much slower progression as we lost control of long A. No one's there for TyLoo. Very deep passive positions for somebody. But, I mean, they're effectively just giving up long control entirely here, the CTs.
Yeah, they're just giving up A, period. They do have Mo in the doorway, but they're going to get blocked out by a lot of this utility that Renegades is throwing down. Unless Mo can escape one through mid-slope, but he's going to have to back down after the smoke deploys. They're actually running out through it. They're trying to get back into the site. One actually did make it inside the site, and they're dropped down to the balcony as well. But Renegades, they're just lighting everyone up. Nifty even got a kill with the fire. And so now somebody left in a 1v5. There's no chance. He does have the kit, but I mean, you're asking a hell of a lot out of this man. He's gotten some damage in, but the odds are just too stacked.
Yeah, you wouldn't fault him if he just did save. I mean, he has 300 equipment value in that smoke, 400 in the kit. Not able to scamper off, though. Nexa will claim their headshot. Just one off the team ace, as well as still the only player not to get one. JKS with 2, and nobody falling in the process. Fantastic round by Renegades, and giving up long just doesn't work for TyLoo.
I mean, it's just a standard A hit, and you could see that TyLoo just got trapped behind all this utility. They tried to play their way through it, just force fights, but they're a loser on every single front. So Renegades will get that 1-0 lead. Of course, we will see some buying out of TyLoo. We are going to see the pistols and armor out for them. What do they want to do here? Looks like they are going to stack that B-bomb site with 4 players, just putting faith. I believe that is 8G. The whole thing's out on the A-bomb side alone. And there is a lot of focus on B from Renegades in this round. Smoke on the broken wall. So pretty much opening default.
Correct, it is HZ on long A for the time being. Once again, Renegades not going to be throwing their hat entirely onto drop. Instead, they're starting to pull themselves back for more of a cohesive hit on A. All 5 players congregating around mid. And HZ and his CZ may be called into action momentarily. The rest of the team stacked on B here, Dust. It doesn't bode very well for the CTs.
No, not at all. At least they're all rotating together as a unit, so maybe they can all get here in time with the CZs and wreak havoc before the bomb can make its way in the site.
Stilo's going to try and clean up on long, and he will be successful. HZ will fall down. Very important to make sure they're not going to have anyone there to scurry later on in the round, but DD now with the CZ is opening up. The bomb has been dropped out in a horrible spot. He only has 9 bullets left, and he may need to use each and every one of them if TyLoo want to clutch this. 30 seconds, still the bomb remains on the site, unplanted. The Renegades trying to get back on top of it. Stilo is going to go on with his UMP. JKS has an AK. He's been playing consistently well today for the Renegades, and there he is again. calling on that man to dig them out of a ditch. 10 seconds, they have got to move right now. There is no more room for error. And at this point, DD could just play the time. He's going to be playing a ring around the rosies on the side. 2 seconds, 1 second, Renegades. Where were you? Why are you so slow?
Dude, when they were on that 2v1, you got to step up, man. Just play out the 2v1, trade it. You don't have time to diddle-daddle around. I feel like JKS was so concerned about a flank. Like, I guess they just really didn't have any idea the last guy was on the site. But, I mean, when you're that low on time, the bomb is there, and you have a 2-on-1, I mean, you might as well just group up together and hope that you can trade frag it or something, because the clock is your worst enemy at this point. Yeah, I almost feel like they just really let that one slip. They were handling things as best they could throughout, but in that 2v1 with 10 seconds or so left, yeah, I feel like they kind of dropped the ball a bit. Now they'll be the one force buying. So, again, another scrappy start. And it is going to be that heavy drop-down room focus from Renegades. This time it's going to be raining men in here. It's going to be 4 players dropping down. DD will back away.
Wants no part of this fight. Now that he has a couple of players to his left and right, it's a much better confrontation as Ventet goes in. And we'll be cleaning up with the UMP. Solid round by TyLoo. Renegades into an eco. I hope that they can just get away the cobwebs of that round that they lost with 10 seconds left. That is the kind of thing that can tilt you and put you off kilter to start off with.
Yeah, the force doesn't work either, so now they have to tap out, so we won't see the jabs back and forth this time. It will be Renegades having to save up for the next round, and that means TyLoo should be able to, as he also carries the bomb. And they will be gathering up, actually, over here in Dragon Lore together as a 5-man unit to go towards mid-slope. I guess wanting to get a fast attack on middle without being spotted crossing is the goal here. Could catch HZ off guard. He was kind of peeking around looking to see if anybody was coming that direction. Didn't see anyone, so definitely could sneak up on him.
He's got the pea shooter, but he's firing against paper ultimately. And the Tech-9 will do the rest. It's an ace for HZ. Very well played, but it is, of course, against an eco, so can't get too carried away. But the MP9 is tailor-made for positions like this and situations like this.
He's also just prints a bunch of money with that gun right there at that SMG bonus, so it's going to really set TyLoo up well to have plenty of cash going forward, including getting that AWP in Mo's hands. But full AK buy here from Renegades. Curious to see what they want to do here in the opening round. Looks like they are going to be going heavy-handed towards B. Again, they love playing double drop-down with Ustilo Aza, as well as just your typical B shenanigans. This time around, there's going to be no one drop. All the focus is on the long B platform. They have plenty of utility, and they're going to just try to work their way out as they're lining up the smokes for the wall on the site. I hope they can just use that to isolate players and brute force their way in.
Somebody's going to get a drop on multiple players. What is going on? Nexus spinning around in circles, puts himself dizzy, trips over a shoelace, and breaks his neck on the pavement. That was rough to watch, and now JKS, he's going to die to the nades. Oh my
He caught that thing with his teeth, you feel like. And yeah, I don't know how somebody gets away with this right now. Again, playing close to the Bruckle, they jumped out on him. Everybody's looking every which way. Nexus like, what in the world's going on? He seems so lost without the map or something. I'm not sure what happened there, but it's nasty for Renegades. And you'd really hate to see them crumble now. They've played such a good tournament to make it here. They came way through the upper bracket after a rough first day in the group stages where they almost got eliminated. Let's be honest, that signature best of 3 was a bit scary. They really took care of business throughout the upper bracket to make it here. And, you know, they've played great on Cashed and forced the map 3. Really want to see them get back into gear. This round obviously going to be difficult, not much to work with. So the 5th round for TyLoo coming, but I hope once their money's back in order, they'll sort it out. I want to see a good game here.
Likewise. It would be horrendous for Renegades if after clawing their way back in an epic cash, they had to just lose out in dominant fashion here on Cobblestone. This round is very much going the way of the Dodo 2, as will JKS. 5-1 start. Solid foundations for TyLoo to build off. Renegades will be back in with another AWP and AK buy.
They have so much money as well. 8,400 on Captain Mo, 7,150 somebody, 8,800 on HG. These rounds have not been that close, and so they've been able to hold on to most of their guns, not rebuying a whole heck of a lot other than utility. But here, Nifty is going to have the AWP for the first time on the T side, and full nade sets AKs for everyone else. So they'll be able to just work a default, let Nifty kind of put his op to work here. So he is going to be over towards A-Halls. He does spot one over the smoke. That's going to be mowed down. So finally, Renegades get something to work with early. They win their opening duel. They'll take the instant man advantage. And they have a lot of clock to work it now, as they'll just kind of stay in the same pattern for the moment.
Yeah, an isolated confrontation won't lead to any more, meaning that Renegades can reset knowing they have the man advantage. Always good news for a T side.
There's that double drop, by the way. Both come in, so the A split now all of a sudden an option. Still could go B through platform drop and just have JKS lurk. They have so many options open to them now with the 5-on-4 and the positioning that they have gathered themselves in the drop-down room.
Bentet almost a sweeper between drop and the B site. Now I'm going to go for a 2-2 formation. HZ and DD will join him on stables. Bentet forced to back away. Phenomenal player. Not quite on point with the spray, but very close. Azza dropped to 26. And now because mid has been compromised alongside Connector, Renegades can start to funnel their way through. Stables goes down. They may not expect a second player to be here, so HZ's going to be able to open up with the M4A1S. They get 2 kills, which is across the Tech 9. He's going to be able to dig them out the ditch. The answer is a no, and Renegades double their score with a second round.
And that's the double drop I was talking about. Ustilo and Azza, the dynamic duo of the drop-down room, sweep through. They limit Bentet to 1 frag and connector. That's big. I also think that Molotov on Fence was just a really nice touch. You know, that's obviously a spot that you have to worry about if you're coming to the connector. If you're an A player, going there along A-Halls is one of your best bets besides just playing inside the site. So they make sure that they spend utility to clear that out and handle that efficiently. Obviously, HZ made it a bit scary, but they're able to hold on no problem. And so they have a second round. And hopefully this is where they start finding their footing. Getting a reset here would certainly hurt, especially given the amount of money that TyLoo has to work with. As TyLoo have obviously done well so far on their CT side.
Yeah, building up a bank on the CT side is one of the first keys to success on any map. Cobblestone could be quite trying, especially if you do want to consistently get out 1 or 2 AWPs, which many teams do. Next is going to have to use his smoke. In fact, no, he won't. I thought that was definitely going to spread, and so did he. And it did right at the end.
Oh, man.
Oh, feels bad,
It
man.
does feel so bad because he put it away. He thought he didn't have to worry about it. Then, of course, comes in to take him down to 17 HP. And, of course, killed by somebody who's challenging long B. He's going to be able to get out of there as well. The drop-down room play in effect again from Azza. This time, he gets limited to 0 kills, no connector control for Renegades. They are getting shut down all across, and it comes from the aggression of somebody to kick it off. How will Renegades respond in this 3 versus 5? They're gathering up towards the A side. They have a decent amount of time to work with.
Yeah, 35 seconds left, and now going to be coming up against both HZ and this time Captain Mo, who has the open position to look up long. Position now tenuous and has been lost. They line up and are still out. Oh, he's going to bag himself a double spray down. Didn't know too much about the second player. There's a flash in his eyes. Once the snowstorm descended, he's good for another one. Somebody now scratching his head, thinking, how the hell did that just happen over on A?
You still did something similar on Catch in the last map where on the B-bomb site where he just came through and got a bunch of frags. That's what actually closed that map off. So you still at times he can definitely be a playmaker. But somebody, he might have a chance at this, not when he's doing it like that. Ustilo, quad kill, huge round, reels it back in for Renegades, wins them a 3 versus 5 off of some clean entries on the day bomb site. That's actually putting him at even. He was 2-6 up until that point. This might be awakening the beast a little bit. That lineup was so nasty. Last bullet catches the dome of HZ.
Yeah, you could see that it was flashed while it was going on. So the call may have came through that someone's on truck. Hold down left click, get the second frag, looks awesome. Unless, of course, you're a TyLoo fan, in which case you're pulling your hair out right now. But Renegades still have 2 rounds before they break even.
Yeah, I just want a good game. That's what matters. You love to see the close races, and now Renegades are back into this one. They actually had the money on TyLoo drain. 3 players at $0 after this buy, 2 at 150. And so they would be definitely forced to save if they lose this. Renegades a great chance to tie this thing up now if they can get this one. But they also have to fear their own reset. Some of these rounds have been close. They've done a lot of rebuying in their own right. As once again, they're looking to do that heavy drop-down room play. Again, that is such an emphasis for them most rounds. This will be no exception to that rule as they want to maybe split A again. And they're getting the kills.
trades going in favor of Renegades. 3 separate assailants, Nifty, JKS, and Azza, 2 of which have fallen by the wayside, but have given their team a chance to take this round and make it their own and put TyLoo into an eco. 45 seconds in which to try and force their way on. This could be rough for DD. There's a molly to his left-hand side. Unlike Nexa, though, it's not going to spread a reckon, but Nifty will. Now, Ben Tet on a potential clutch. Again, though, because of their lack of finances, they may be just trying to upgrade to an AK and save this.
That is certainly the case, it appears. Again, money really low. This would be probably the only gun they'd have to work with in the next round if he's able to hold on to it. Looks like there might be some chase being given, though. That's going to be Ustillo. He gets caught, however, so Bentet will begin the backpedal. And no one else is really challenging for Renegades. They don't really have that much money to go chasing after this frag. They need to save up.
Yep, correct. Nifty 2,900 as a 2.2k. Of course, that's going to leap up after the explosion, but they've got a couple players in 4,000 that are going to have to rebuy, so it's not worth throwing any more of these weapons away. Plus Ben Tet, although he does save the AK, apart from that, they're really not going to have much. So it's not like they're going to be against a full buy in this round anyway.
Here we go. They'll have that 1 AK on Bentet. He gets a little bit of utility as well. There's a couple of upgraded pistols spread out. 5.7 on DD, 3 P250s elsewhere. Again, we're going to see Renegades just open up fairly default. They're not going to have to change up too much here, as Nifty will just post up for the long B platform. So he has a new position. He's been picking A and mid a lot. But as we talked about on other maps, he loves to be mobile. So this will be the case here as well, as they do begin to gather up. There is a stack on the B-bomb site, though, from TyLoo. Everyone's here. So this could get a little bit messy.
And because they haven't really searched for too much information, there's no alarm bells ringing. Now that peak comes out, it could be the moment where Renegades realize what's up against them. Oh, and if not, then DD's coming around the back with a 5.7. Need to switch to the AK. Meanwhile, somebody's P250's going in for a kill. It's messy, it's sloppy, but Renegades aren't out this round just yet, and they have enough time to rotate, and TyLoo know it. Therefore, they're sending the big gun of Ben Tet over to watch A by his lonesome.
Yeah, they're just bouncing back and forth at this point. They're trying to figure it out because now they're not seeing anything at A, so they're wondering, is Renegades just stalling out? Are they double faking us? There's so many mind games going on because there's so much time left on the clock for Renegades to toy with these rotations. This is the advantage you have in even numbers like this. CTs are the ones that are spread thin, and they don't know what's going on. You're the ones that can gather up and make the play. Oh, he hides in that corner spot in A. Does that get checked? Sometimes that can be such a nuisance, especially if someone distracts them at connector or something. Ooh, Bentet. But they're coming APC side. That's the better way to approach it.
P250 is going to get a 1-4 trade. It's all about Bentet, though. 10 seconds. Can he stop the bomb carrier? Yes, he can. And that's probably the round going with it. JKS only on 1 health. Even if he could get to the site, it may not be enough. He's got himself into the kill. There's going to be only 2 seconds left, and he can't get it round the corner. A squeaky butt moment for TyLoo, but they clench hard enough. Renegades can't get in.
You can definitely tell somebody's clinching as he comes around that corner. He doesn't know, man. He knows time's low. JKS might peek him, get the kill in the back. That might be it, but not going to happen. And so there you have it. TyLoo off of the back of just 1 AK and a few upgraded pistols. They steal 1 away from Renegades. Again, the clock becomes Renegades' worst enemy on clearing that A-bomb site. They took so much damage, though, from DD's flank as well. As this time, the focus has pivoted over to the A side. 4-man grouping at long A halls. Just the lurk of Azza over here towards drop. He'll maintain his normal thing a bit different. Mo playing up close.
Thought for a second that he was just going to start teeing off on the advancing terrorists, but only a 2-for-2 trade. And again, with Cobblestone being such a vast map and a pretty long rotation time, a 2-for-2 trade is really rough for the CT's perspective. They've got to spread them out so thin. You can see that Bentet's on an island all by himself on B. They're putting the bulk of their defense over on the A side of the map. Somebody's on doors and DD down mid, watching the close angle. So the world really is Renegade's oyster. They have 2 smokes. They can throw 1 on door. But they're going to be peeking raw for the time being. And a flashbang right in their face. Oh no, somebody, this could be the worst moment to start to rotate. Now DD, his position is incredibly vulnerable, but instead somebody, his sixth sense, his spidey sense is tingling, and he goes back in to look at long once more. We'll see players. DD's going to change his position as a result. Now come up to headshot. 20 seconds to go. Renegades have got on the site, and they are going to get this plant. Can DD get any kills afterwards, though? Getting the plant is only half the problem in this kind of a scenario for Renegades. And Nifty's going to land a pixel-perfect shot onto somebody as he peeks round for Murder Hole, and there's a second. And Ben Tet will be shaking in his boots. And as AWP shots are whizzing past his ears, he's not able to get anything for his endeavor. Renegades with a fifth. Solid work.
So they're keeping it close. They don't let that last round get to them. The force buy doesn't work, and now it's, in fact, TyLoo who is reset here. So now they're the ones that have to scratch their heads and figure out what they want to do, because force buying could certainly set them back for the rest of the half, but lo and behold, they will deliver. CZ armor on everyone. HC, though, adds to it with the UMP. It's Mo actually on the 5-7 with somebody. So, again, just whatever upgraded pistol they have at that price and the UMP, they're going to go for the counter boost again from HC, but he gets out of there after he doesn't like what he sees. And Renegade's looking to crack on B again. This time there's no stack.
Ruthless aggression for Renegades potentially on the cards. Here it comes. Ben Tet, CZ has time to reload, put together the Lego weapon once more. Nifty's Molotov could force them back out into the open. In actual fact, it will outright cook HZ on the site. Next up is the next one to chime in with a kill onto Ben Tet. And Captain Mo at the back of the site on the statue is basically just trying to buy up enough time for somebody and his flank to prove to be fatal. He's also got some cavalry coming in from the drop zone side. There is a player looking up on the B long. Captain Mo is doing so much work here by himself, but Nifty, he's having none of this flank. Down goes somebody, and down goes a huge part of this hold on the site. DD's UMP is going to go in for 2 kills. Nifty up against DD. There's enough time to cross, but the UMP spray on point, and DD's going to clutch it. A round where 1 UMP came through, and that was the only weapon they required in the end. 7-5, Renegades' hearts will be broken.
They just cannot get past these force buys, and this time around they weren't even up against a stack. The problem was the bomb bounced down into the site, so there's no fallback option. After Nifty kills that flank from somebody, if they would have still had the bomb in possession B platform, all of a sudden they can play the mind games. They can play out the 3v2, making TyLoo guess if they're going back to the A bomb site, but because that bomb was locked in, they had no choice but to commit and keep rolling out into fights. And unfortunately for them, DD was up to the task of the UMP. Now they're force buying with the tech mines. They're trying to rush through middle. They do get an initial trade here. They might be able to get into A, but DD, he's going to come back over from the previous round. He's going to line up with the M4. He's not done yet finding frags. And TyLoo put a halt to Renegades there. 8-5. They're starting to get control of this game again.
A blink and you'll miss it kind of round where TyLoo just batten down the hatch. DD goes monster mode again. In terms of scoreline, there's no one that's necessarily really shining that bright. I mean, JKS is 15-7. That's solid work, but DD and HZ are just behind him on 14 and 13 respectively. It's been more of a team effort on both sides.
And Renegades are able to buy up here, but the last round's going to be lacking if this doesn't work out, and that could be a 10-5 for TyLoo. That might be a little bit overwhelming, but we'll see what Renegades could do. They're gathered up again for an A Hall stake, but this player right here.
Oh, it's the Max 7, and he's going to get 1 kill. That's really all you can ask from that kind of a position if he's going to get faced by 3 players. Information gathered, HZ is on his own, and it surprises me somewhat that neither DD or Ben Tet have started to make a move towards the doors. You can see now that HZ, I mean, he's caught in 2 minds. Do I look towards long? Do I keep my crosshair on mid? Hoping and praying that Renegades do go for a rotation, and looks like they have been answered. For the time being, the T's are making a move to the other side of the map.
And there's so much clock left here for Renegades, and they're determining that their best option is to drop back into a B position. They don't really have a whole lot of utility, just 3 smokes. It's enough for your standard wall off, and there's one flash. Or, I mean, there's two. So it looks like they'll just gather up and hope to do something here at B. I'm not sure if it'll be heavy drop again or if they're going to try to just focus on the platform, but they're running out of time, and oh, that's a great flash.
Yeah, flash is on point. Captain Mo waits for the guaranteed kill before flicking onto Nifty. Much better by TyLoo. JKS is coming through last, but he will be the last to fall. No kills on the cards for him. So last round of the half, as you highlighted, Dust, it's not going to be a fantastic buy. Tech9's on the horizon. Next may go for UMP. Indeed, he shall. JKS could do the same. If not, there's going to be more utility backing him up. The timeout has been called because, I mean, this is a pretty important round. There is a vast difference between 10-5 and 9-6 for obvious reasons, but yeah, why not just use a timeout, try and steady your nerves, see if you can get something to stick in this one.
Yeah, you might as well. That is for sure. You get 4 of them in a game, so this is definitely not a bad time to take one. There hasn't been one, I think, this half yet, not that I remember. So there was a good recovery from Renegades in the middle of the half. Remember, at one point they were down 5-1. They actually brought it back to 6-5. But these last few rounds have gone to TyLoo. And so they've been able to increase that lead a good bit going into the second half. We'll see if they can do one better here as Renegades, off the back of the timeout, will be with all that they can purchase. And they will be gathering up over towards the B side of the map right away.
Can't help but feel that UMP clutch for TyLoo could have severely altered the course of how this map was going. That could have been the moment. Flashbang is on point, but DD instantly just tossing down a Molotov, ensuring that they're not going to be pushing his side. However, that opens up Connector, and Azza will oblige onto HZ, and they get traded out. Bentet needs to be careful. There's a smoke there, but Nifty is laying in wait like a coiled viper ready to strike. And his Venom proving to be too much for DD. However, TyLoo are so low. 19, 9, 15 health between a lot of them. And the Tech9's going to be able to rip through some Kevlars at this rate. Next up with a double tap onto somebody. And our Bentet and his M4 feeling very lonely in this world. The last action of this half. There's the first headshot down to 14. Tech9 is going to be using the smoke to try and get up close and personal. And there we have it. Astillo will finish off the half. A much-needed round, 9-6.
So what do you do when you're in the last round and the pressure is on and it says, let's go for the bread and butter. Let's go for the heavy drop-down room play. That is our comfort zone. That is where guys like Azza and Ustillo can thrive for us and open up a play. That's exactly what they do. Flood into Connector and fit one more last round in before switching sides, and that means that if they can win pistol and avoid anti-ecos, they could just tie the game right back up. But then again, TyLoo could double their lead. That's the two things at stake here. But if we're honest, we've seen so many second round force buys succeed that it's hard to even really count too much on a 3L. But we'll see here as TyLoo are going to go arm whenever you want except for Bentet, who will get a smoke and flash. Surprising it's him to take the smoke and flash. You'd expect it to be someone else, with Bentet usually being kind of their breadwinner. So we'll waste no time coming up middle.
Yeah, the difference between the two styles is very apparent. Much slower for Renegades, right up in the face will go TyLoo, but this is where the USP shines. JKS, totally uncontested, and is just rattling off shots downrange and is connecting. Bentet has a P250, but he does not have the bomb, and he no longer has a head. Next up, we'll see to that. Renegades pick up the second pistol, looking good. But as you highlighted, there's no guarantees, especially when Australian teams are concerned. The amount of times that we've seen these rounds go for and against Renegades is unbelievable.
That is certainly true, but at least they're on the heels of TyLoo already, right? They won that last round in the first half. They win pistol. They're not letting TyLoo stretch out that lead anymore, not just yet at least. TyLoo obviously going to force buy up, and yeah, as you said, TyLoo typically going to be super fast-paced. They also like heavy drop-down play, but they're also just much more explosive at times. Just usually no hesitation, let's rush type of play style on this map, which can suit aggressive teams. Ustillo gets way deep in B.
Nifty did too. He went up long and instantly died. So right off the bat, somebody is able to capitalize, has himself a UMP. Now TyLoo, because all the confrontation and chaos went down within the first 30 seconds, they can slow down the pace and feel comfortable that they can just take their time. Castillo is going to get a kill. Some damage was traded off in the process onto both him and Nexa. HZ down to 10, and now it looks to us as though TyLoo are going to be setting up for an A hit.
Sure does. There's only one player in there. That's going to be JKS, the normal A-side anchor. He's here with the M4. He's already taken some pot shots at fence, but he will get smoked out, but he'll drop down before it deploys, and JKS is taking a lot of heat here.
JKS, although taking heat, is able to waft it away. Bentet, one-on-one up against JKS. In fact, it was a 2v1, pardon me. HZ had such little health, I didn't even see him. But he will be the player to dispatch of Nexa. And, well, TyLoo have done it. We just mentioned Renegades struggle with the second round buy-ups, and that is going to maintain the course. Do they force into this one is the answer. And the question appears to be no. Just a P250 for Azza.
And again, Renegades has never won an Asian minor as a brand, and that dates all the way back to IEM Taipei at the very beginning of 2016. It was Mongols who thwarted them there, and it's been TyLoo ever since that's been the gatekeeper. And TyLoo again setting themselves up for that, as in the 11th round looks right on the horizon as the Renegades are on a full save outside of Az's P250. You would think that this round is cemented for TyLoo. There's not a whole lot you can expect Renegades to do here. They do stack B with 5, and that's their gamble. That's their roll of the dice. It's all they can do. It's yet to be determined whether or not that is where the bomb will head. Starting to look that way, though, doesn't it?
It is, but this is where Renegades wish they had a few more P250s, because even if the trap is sprung, TyLoo are going to feel like each and every one of them are raid bosses when they're up against USPs. Mosquitoes hitting a windshield springs to mind. Azza, maybe the difference maker with this P250. Going to be boosting up JKS onto the tree. And now watching drop. Well, the P250 wielder is down, and alongside him, and any hope to the clutch. Nifty's able to get one kill, which is going to go nicely towards his AWP fund. And Castillo, to be fair, also got himself a kill, but as anticipated, TyLoo just run rampant and do claim an 11th round.
And again, I don't expect them to really let off the gas pedal. I expect the fast-paced play to continue here from TyLoo as that drop-down room comes into effect here. Again, Didi, he's been so on point. We've already talked about Bentet and how he's been an MVP candidate, but Didi has been so good on this map. And really, no one has necessarily lagged behind.
Yeah, there isn't really anyone that you'd extend out to and say, well, they're the reason why either team has struggled. Everyone's been pulling their weight in this game.
Now save again here on Renegades. Want to make sure they get a nice, comfortable buy, so a 12th round looks likely. Again, heavy drop-down room from TyLoo. Look at this 5-man flank PO for Renegades. They all hop out, but Vincent tees them up.
Surprise! And then you just get uppercutted to the face and all go down. The bomb's under control, but Nifty's life is null and void. Bentet comes through and finishes the round with 4 kills. Up to 18 now, just 2 shy of Didi, a player highlighted as having a pretty solid cobblestone performance.
And so here comes the buy from Renegades. And here is where Nifty will have his chance with the AWP. He's been so good this tournament, particularly day 3 and that run they had in the playoffs. Such a sick series there. He's been sick in this one as well. Hunting out there towards middle. He's not going to find anything, however, as TyLoo are putting their focus once again heavily towards the B side. There's even a second op in play. It's on Nexa. Usually JKS would do a lot of opping as a second opper, but I guess based on positioning, since Nifty's at A side, they'll put it on a B player, and Nexa will be the one to take it.
Ustillo is chilling in the alcove, but is now thinking about pushing through and getting some info for himself just in time to be picked up by somebody who's looking for a second. Azza will not allow him to have that. Nexa with the AWP is going to chime in for a kill. Much better by Renegades, but they have to minimize the casualties. That's, of course, assuming they win this round, which is no longer a foregone conclusion. Now that's back up for debate. And DD and his AK.
He knows where the bomb is, but he's kind of left it for a moment. He might think that a CT is actually guarding it. He can't know that both are connector. But he has some time, so he's trying to see if anyone's going to peek him, anyone's going to give him a chance. Not going to be the case, however. They're just sitting and waiting. They want to play this together. They don't want to cough this round up. They know how valuable it is. So they're taking their time. They're letting DD stew on it. He'll go grab the bomb now. But at this point, if any little thing goes wrong on his way back to plant the bomb, he'll be entirely sabotaged.
Yep. And now that he's made noise, additionally, they know he's long, and they know he has to commit to B. There's no reason for either of these CTs to move. And that will be the round. Solid play by Renegades. Minimized the losses. This will do a solid job for the economy, but because they have lost 3, they're not going to have much funds after this. This is a real important round coming up. This could see Renegades flat out broke with TyLoo leapfrogging to the likes of a 14-8 lead. I can't understate just how important this round is coming up for Renegades.
Yeah, it's like you got the key round you needed to stick around, but you're not out of the woods yet. You lose this one, you could just get burnt down. Like you said, it would be a harsh reset. And TyLoo know it. They're moving fast. They're looking to get in this B-bomb site right away.
Oh, it's still that flashbang absolutely destroys him. But fortunately, there's one that counteracts the tease push, and he's got friends behind him to back him up. Captain Mo, the only friends he needs are the AK bullets that he's putting into the bodies of the CTs. But now somebody has proved that he can be depended on too. Mo with the incendiary into drop. Actually doesn't quite land in drop itself, so the player in there is able to just hide in there a little while longer. Jumping to the side. That is nifty, by the way, with his AWP, and from the side comes JKS. First test has been passed, but again, losing 3 players means they're almost in an identical position. The only good news is that TyLoo don't have much funds either, so they may not be able to capitalize on it.
That's true. Team ace by Renegades, by the way. Everyone got a piece in that round. Nexa did so well to bail you still out early on. And then from there, they were able to close it down in yet another clutch situation. And so that is great news. TyLoo will buy up. They know that the blood's in the water. They know the money is vulnerable for Renegades, so they want to put all they can into this. It's going to be the UMPs. Remember, they did this on Cash on A-Site with 5 UMPs, won the round. Kept them in that game. They're going to look for it to do it here for them on Cobblestone, on the drop-down room as 3 push in.
They have gone for this purchase, as you say, and right off the bat, they are going to get something back for their investment. That is the life of Azza. Stillo and Nifty aren't going anywhere for the time being. They take down players before they fall down a peg or 2. Captain Mo on the balcony, very much isolated from the bomb carrier of somebody who seems to have seen the barrel of the gun sticking around the corner, and how Nifty is a goner. And there's a lot of time left as well. But Astillo knows it's not going to be a B hit, which allows Nexa now to move on to the doors. Beautiful spray transfer from JKS. Single-handedly taking this round away. Somebody's going to extend and reach out and try and pull it back, but Nexa slaps his hand away with the M4.
What a hero play from JKS here in the clutch. His back against the wall. Or the APC, whatever you want to take it. But after Nifty goes down, he delivers. He keeps Renegades alive. Another force fly goes to the wayside from TyLoo. And now they do have to tap out, which means Renegades can hopefully start gathering up money in this round. They need to win this one clean. It's not as much of a force from TyLoo. There's still a couple of guns out there that can pose a threat. And they need to get their money in order.
Yeah, that's priority number 1, is not just to win rounds, but to win them convincingly. No needless deaths. And for God's sake, please, Renegades, don't let TyLoo knock you down with this kind of a bite. We've seen it happen so often to them throughout this event, not just from TyLoo, but from every team they've played against. JKS on the prowl, just outside the stables. They're going to line up from with his M4. And he is going to oblige with 3 kills. Nifty. We know about his wall bangs. This time it's not going to land. Bentet should have the free frag. Okay, it did finally go down. I was a bit worried for him for a second there, not going to lie.
Bentet's a playmaker, and you gave him an M4. Now, he doesn't have armor, so aim punch is a problem, but this is where he could really step up and show you the player that he is.
Nifty and Azza have a pretty solid defense established, though. Nifty not far off on that wallbang attempt. I think HZ actually was knocked down to 12. And there is Azza to finish off the rest with Nifty. Renegades now have put 4 rounds on the board in a row. And TyLoo will be back into a bye. 27-12. At one point, it was looking as though JKS was just about keeping his head above the rest of his team, but now he is extended. He is shifted into a new gear. He is bossing it.
He is, and it's in the most pivotal moment in the grand finals. I know we talked about Nifty being the MVP candidate. JKS is, I don't know, man. He might be the one over Nifty at this point if he keeps it up. He's already outperformed Nifty in these grand finals, and overall numbers for the tournament are a bit better as well. Yeah, Nifty's had the crazy plays. He's definitely up there, but you could certainly argue for JKS, I think, as well. But none of that just yet. We're not there, as TyLoo are still around ahead, and they're back onto a bye. They're gathered up at B once more. Now, the rotation A is going to be so far away because they're pushed up long. They could flank, yeah, sure, but rotating through connector to assist B is going to be not an option, so these 3 have to hold.
And hold they shall. Mistillo and Nifty proving to be a tenacious couple of players. Nifty with another one and a third, and he's hungry for a 4th, but DD will deny him before Astillo puts him down. All even, 12-12, and I'm wondering at what point did TyLoo call a timeout? They have now lost 5 in a row. They have to come up with some fresh ideas.
There you go. A genius,
Made sense.
Some may call you.
It just made sense, mate. Momentum was completely against them. I'm happy they've done this, though. They haven't let it get too late. There's still plenty of time to turn this around.
Man, this, you know, rubbing the palms together in a game like this one. It's been such a damn good grand final, and this third map is right there next to it. It has been so much fun to watch. Double AWP set up now for Renegades again. Nexa will have his at B again, I'd imagine, so that means Nifty will be drifting towards A halls or middle. We are going to see TyLoo buy up all they can here. AK's out on all 5 players, it should be, unless somebody takes a UMP to make sure he gets a full nade set or something. But no, it's going to be AKs and armor. There's not a lot of utility there either. They're going to just 5-man bunch up and just try to break in through sheer firepower alone. But Nifty's going to be here. You might even line up more than one.
He did hit that shot. HZ's down to just 18 health. And Nifty's able to get away on 40 health short, but he's still alive. And JKS is going to get DD, who completely tunnel visions. The red mist descended. He was hungry for that kill. He didn't care about anyone else or any other position. And Nifty's still there with 1 health. Oh my god! That was not far off from connecting, and he gets it on the second time of asking. Nifty pulls off the great escape.
The 1 HP escape is the case, and now TyLoo've got nothing left in this round. Bentet, he's still hanging around danger, but his bomb carrier is already saving an AK over there at Hogwarts somewhere. And I mean, I don't even know how he gets out of this. This is a rough situation. Saving a gun would be great. I mean, his teammate's already way out of there, man. He's got no HP.
Yeah. So, peace. Have fun. Bentet, you're going to have to fight your way out of this.
See ya. I'm going to go hang out over here.
And, of course, Dust. Okay, his gun's been shown. Ripping pepperonis. Bentet, thanks for coming. But this is after a pause. This is directly after TyLoo push the red button, halt the play, and they get smashed again.
The options just weren't there. They didn't really have any utility. I mean, they put all their money into AKs and armor. I mean, they could have gone UMP armor if they wanted utility, or they could have, you know, done like a lighter pistol buy and like saved up for a full comfortable buy. But this was the route they chose, and they got held off big time thanks to Nifty and JKS's play at the A side. Now, they are at max loss bonus at this point. So 3,400 coming in, but I mean, they bought down basically to 0. So, I mean, other than HZ saving the AK, which is actually, combined with the head armor, is $300 more than what he would have earned if he just would have died. So, does make sense in that regard.
Another timeout. I was about to say, you have a bunch of them, why not use them? And they are going to go for the buy. There was the option. They were mid-3000s. You can see that Captain Mo and Bentet's still on 3.4K apiece.
This time around, somebody does go for the UMP to get an aid set, so there is one difference from the previous round. Renegades, though, you got to think they can almost taste it.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost there. They can see the end of the tunnel. It's near to finally win an Asian minor. Ever since the minor system took place in Asia at IEM Taipei, and I think it was January of 2016 or somewhere near the beginning of the year, it was the Mongols, then it was TyLoo twice. This is their fourth one. Obviously, new lineup. Same for TyLoo. The main reward already secured, but the pride is on the line here. They'd love to finally get past this kryptonite that is TyLoo.
They had a teaser yesterday. Oh, they want the main course. They want that 30K in their back pocket. As you say, I honestly think the reputation and the pride means a lot more to them than the money does as competitors. But
especially with the new lineup, you want to prove yourselves. Yeah. You want to, you know, get something, start building some confidence, get something established. And we aren't going to see TyLoo setting up for what could be another B hit with a little bit of utility behind it in the mix.
So they have slowed down the pace quite considerably since the last round. Expending utility, but there's nothing to stop Azza from teeing off with his M4. Traded out courtesy of a Galil, and Captain Mo comes in with a headshot of his own. Now, although Captain Mo and Bentet are both 10 and below health, they do have a player advantage, and when there's AWP's concerned, it really doesn't matter how much health you have anymore. So this is going to be a worrying sign for Renegades, especially as Nifty has lost his head. Didi takes down JKS as he tries to reclaim the site. And now Nexa and a 1-4, I assume, will just try and save. So this time the tactical timeout has been a success.
Yeah, they win, they save 4 guns. That's big.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Renegades have the money, so they'll be able to buy next round, especially if Nessa can save this AWP, but he can't. Didi cuts him off, and that would have helped. I mean, they can still afford double op setup, but it would have saved them some cash in the long term. And whenever you're down to the wire like this and, you know, you might only be playing just a few more rounds, every dollar counts, and TyLoo take another timeout. And that's fair enough, because talk this out. You don't want to get reset. You know you tied it back up. You know you have a chance to start draining Renegades' money. Obviously, they're going to buy this round, but, you know, if you win this and Renegades commit enough cash, you could start forcing that save soon, or at least a 4-spot to survive situation. So there is definitely a lot to talk about. I'm sure Renegades is happy to talk about things as well during this timeout, by the way. They're probably happy to let TyLoo call this. They need to sort things out as well. They will go WWP once more.
Yep.
And so, again, man, it is a slugfest right now. TyLoo, their story from the other side, we talked about Renegades. They want to continue the dominance. They want to continue to prove they're the best in Asia. They won the last 2 Asian minors. They won a third.
We are live once again in the third and final map of the grand finals at the Asian Minor. All even. We wanted a close best of 3, and this certainly has delivered. 16-13, 16-11, 13-13. Anybody's map. We're forced onto a UMP. Only had $2,000 at the start of this round. JK has dropped him a UMP, which you can now see in his hands. Gonna go for the boost. Something they haven't done too often, actually, so far on the CT side. So I'm curious if that does catch TyLoo off guard. It's going to be Azza, the man, to come up. Oh, he's
just
actually
at the right
for it
time.
as well, and there's no one here to watch it. Azza's going to be amongst the fishes, and he's going to be able to goal down somebody. Maybe a second kill afterwards, but no, Mo will AWP him out of his boots. And TyLoo are getting the entries on B where it counts. Nifty. Trying to find a pixel to shoot at. That smoke is denying him. Incendiary into Chicken Coop. This will force the player out into the open. And Nifty's unable to capitalize on that. JKS is also still alive, so really the two top fraggers, the two star players, for the time being, Renegades are still alive, but they have decided this isn't going to happen. They're tapping out. TyLoo will take the lead.
And Az's flank worked out okay at first, but he needed more than one, or he needed to at least stay alive, maybe go back to drop-down room to help out the B side, because Nexa was the only one really left. And while he finds one frag, there was just nothing else coming out of Renegades. Great work from TyLoo, almost a team ace. 14-13, another pause. You got to think that this is maybe Renegades' pause.
Yeah, for sure. Because you look at their economy here, Dust, they have decisions to make. Do they play for the outright win? Do they play for overtime?
That is the question, isn't it? It took overtime in the third map of the upper bracket final to determine a winner. That was on overpass this time, obviously cobblestone. Again, both teams have something to prove in this map.
Right down to the wire here.
And Nifty has the AWP. What do they want to do around it? That's really the question here.
I mean, seeing as they often prioritize AWPs on Nifty, I can't help but feel we may see a force. Because will they get another shot? Yeah, this doesn't surprise me. Because would they get another shot at an AWP in the next round?
even if you didn't buy here and you lost, it's not as if there would really be so much cash sitting out there, right? I mean, you'd be on a 2-round loss bonus.
Interesting. So only Az is going to dip in.
Yeah, okay. This is like a middle ground approach, which means you're still going to have like 4 players decently bought up next round, but you have a little bit of added weight to this buy, I guess. So Az is kind of the one taking the sacrifice. So it's all on Azza and Nifty to make plays, really.
It is somewhat perplexing to me that they don't just all go all in on this, but we shall see what their plans are. And maybe if Nifty and Azza can get a bunch of kills, it's not
kind of crazy. They had the UMP and some pistols over on the A side.
But not even upgraded pistols. It's all USPs for Renegades. Azza holding the angle on Stables, peeking at the perfect time. Is he able to get any more switches to the AK-47? And he's going to get 2 kills. That could be enough, but the rest of the team, this is where the USPs is really going to let Renegades down. Nifty with an AWP alongside Nexa, who may very well just act as a human shield. Try and absorb some of those bullets, Nifty. If ever there was a time for you to strike with some madness, it's right here, right now. And he's going to get 2, and Nexa comes through with the USP. And the clutch is real. Renegades even us up to 14 apiece.
And the 3 people saved money, so the rebuying is going to help them out with the 1-round win bonus, and they're going to get right back into a full buy. Nexa keeps the op. Goddamn, what is this, man? Like, this is just absolutely absurd stuff. Nifty comes up clutch again with the AWP. It almost feels like every time he's been asked to step up, he's delivered. He was a little bit slow in this map overall in numbers, but now he's at 23 and 20. You got to give the props to Azza as well, man. He got a lot out of that position over at Stables, and then Nexa wins the 1v1 with the USP of all guns. So, my goodness, this is so tense, man. And TyLoo, they do get the buy up here, but whoever wins this is so well set to win the game, because obviously they'll be on series point and they'll be up against a low buy.
Yep, and just to clarify as well, that was an AWP and a UMP and 3 USPs that just got Renegades to 14 rounds.
All about expert positioning and grit. That's what that round was about for Renegades.
Speaking of grit, we're going to find out which of these 2 teams has the bigger cojones. It's 4 pauses in the last 4 rounds as well, by the way, just to show you how tense and close this game actually is. Bentet down to 55. Early doors, the casualty, at least the wounding, goes against TyLoo. This, honestly, I mean, we say it a lot, but I don't think it's ever been more true in this case. This is anybody's game right now. Anybody's finals. Anybody's championship.
For Renegades a first, for TyLoo with 3-peat. TyLoo taking it fairly slow for now. He's still playing up close on B. He gets the kill on the somebody. He's got a hold. He's got some help from platform, but the op shot misses, so DD just gets the trade back into a 4-on-4, and they back away. They are a little bit short on time, but still enough to make this transition. But JKS, he's been so clutch. That's his trademark. In fact, that's what he's known for. Does he come up here? Nifty swinging around as well with the AWP, so they'll have a formidable defense for this attack now. It's a 2-2 split for Renegades. The two best players for them in this map on this side of the map as well.
JKS in a similar position to Azza, and he's going to get two just as Azza did before. HZ, he's going to go uncontested for the free kill, but time now is the main issue for TyLoo. It's not even the players. They've got to get the bomb. They've got to push to the site. It's going to allow Azza to tee off with the UMP, and Nexa comes through with a headshot. Renegades 1 round away from sealing it up and winning the Asian minor, and TyLoo's economy, it's in the toilet.
They've never been this close. They've always been in the final, but they've never been on that point, on that 3 to do it. And you feel like maybe this is finally their time to win an Asian minor with this new group of players, these new additions, particularly young ones. Nifty and Nexa, both only 19 years old, and they're the ones doing the majority of the shot calling. And Nifty's also trying to balance being one of their star players at the AWP, and this would be so great for them to finally do it. But TyLoo, they're looking to prove they're still the best in Asia. Even if it takes them just on a Tech-9 force buy, it feels like it'd only be fitting they'd fit in overtime in with this, but they've been so successful on low buys. But, oh, man, this could be a bit of a checkmate if they go away. This boost has never been used in this map thus far, and they're going to use it to rely on JKS to hold a solo. All the efforts focused for Renegades towards B, except for a player connector. It's going to be Nifty's AWP. He's trying to help cover window so his players can focus on plat. Also, I don't think anyone's played this spot yet. It's a common one, but it really hasn't been used this game.
That timing could not have been better for Azza. It's doing so much damage with the incendiary, but Nifty's gone down. The Tech-9s may have the last laugh. Headshot onto Nifty. JKS, who was up on boost, is now dropped. Of course, he was very vulnerable from a multitude of angles. DD coming up on long. JKS could be the linchpin, could be the main man. They are going to concede a bomb plant. But he's okay just to hold this angle for the time being. He needs to wait for the rest of the troops to arrive. TyLoo have an AWP in Captain Mo's hands. They've got an AK. They have a bit of utility. This balances on a razor's edge. Again, it could go either way. And to make matters worse, DD is on the flank, and Renegades have no idea what's about to come towards them. He's going to start to tee off from behind, but JKS comes through with a kill. He's going to keep the dream alive. Captain Mo misses one shot, won't miss the second, and TyLoo have tied it up. We're going to overtime.
It's a repeat of the upper bracket final. The only difference to setting on cobblestone instead of overpass. It took extra rounds there. It'll take it again. And it deserves it, man. This has been such a great grand finals for these two teams. It's been a lot of a back and forth affair through most of it. And so we will be going to OT here and now. It's a race to 19 rounds. Obviously, 18-18 leads to a second OT. It's 10K start money, so economy definitely a factor. Especially if you're going to go double up on CT side. That can set you back so badly if you lose this first round. It can be a bit of a risk. Because, again, with 10K, you could get forced into a very low buy third round of the OT half.
Unbelievable that Renegades were on the brink, on the precipice, looking down on the fallen teams that they have knocked out to win everything. Now, TyLoo, they're right back in this dust.
This might be the worst way to lose it yet. Like, they've lost it, 3 times already, but this one would hurt the most, I think, for the core of this team that's been around, particularly JKS and Azza. They've been around since the beginning.
Solid shot by Nifty, though. Great start to the overtime. Somebody up on drop. Of course, the magic number is now 19. Both teams jockeying for position, which 3 ops in play. Captain Mo is currently residing just outside of drop with his. Nifty is on A. Nexa has his AWP on long B.
Yeah, typical holding patterns for when they do double op with these two players, so nothing special just yet, though Nifty did shift his position after that first pick. And there's one from Nexa. So 5-on-3 now that they have. And they're still kind of gathered up, split between drop and platform. And Renegades holding firm. They make it out of this flawless.
That'd be astronomical for them to take this one without losing a player. And of course, double AWPs in this kind of a fragile economic state is always a risk, but it's paid off. Both AWPers coming through with a kill. There's still the other player to chime in. 6 seconds, TyLoo will concede this round.
Yep, so flawless victory for Renegades. Nothing having to be rebought but nades. And so that means they're buying the rest of this half. Like, even if they lose this next round, they're fine for the third. So that storm has been weathered. And so here you have it. TyLoo, they've looked a little bit bogged down in that round. I mean, obviously the opening pick really did hurt and slow them down. They haven't been good to readjust to suffering opening picks, to be honest. So we'll see what's in the playbook now. They still have the Mo AWP. Everyone else on rifle, utility. No one going towards middle. You fancy your chances for something fast in this moment.
TyLoo seem to be setting up for just that. Mollying in first, trying to make sure that nobody's behind the box. Here come the hail of smokes. Blotting out the sky. Renegades can't see too much, but using the arch alcove, a position I don't think they've used before either, and Astillo is going to get a kill off the back of that. Now moving up the staircase, 3 players to find, and he's going to be able to frag one. Astillo wants to take this round by himself, but HZ has other thoughts. Lots of time left, and he's getting the entries, but finally he will fall on his sword. Azza, with a kill of his own, leaving Bentet in a 2-on-1. Won't be happening. Renegades stomp forward to a 2-round lead.
Now remember, they won the third map of the upper bracket final 19-15. They clean swept the first half 3-0. They took care of business right at the top of the second half, and that was it. So this would be complete deja vu if they do it here and now, and it would be in the best sort of way, because it would also mean that they've taken the title for the first time in the Asian Minor. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be a fitting end to it all for them? As it is the last round of this half here. TyLoo, of course, buying all they can, but it's a bit limited compared to the previous two. And again, they're looking for fast speed, but again, Astillo cuts them off.
Solid return kill. Astillo stayed around too long, overstayed his welcome. With that trade happening in the first few moments of the round, it does afford them a chance to rotate, but Nifty, he's feeling the same. He can sense this, and he's going to land the shot onto Captain Mo. The bomb drops out. I'm not sure if Nifty saw that, but I don't think he's going to stick around long enough to care. Hit and run style, relocating to peer up from danger. And this is now going to put TyLoo in a position. Do they actually even want to go for the rotation? They have got to respect Nifty.
They need to start gathering up soon. There's still a decent amount of time left on the clock, however, but they are having to play from a man down. But Bentet's still out there. He's been a great playmaker. And DD, he's been on point this map. And somebody, the usual sidekick of Bentet. So you have some of your main cannons out in force for TyLoo in this 3-on-4. They do have quite the mechanics, so even with low utility, they still might be able to find some openings. It's all about winning the duels. That's usually how TyLoo wins rounds, is just how they brawl. And they'll have to do it here as well, as they do now gather up for the long V push.
Oh, that was a key moment. If Azza lands that, it gives them such a huge advantage. Still time is against them, but DD and Bentet come through with vital frags. Nifty, of course, no reason to save. This is the last round of this half of overtime. But he's got a 1-on-3. Can he push Renegades to 3 championship points? They've already had 1. Can he go for 3 more? Now, his position is about to get compromised from the backside, and DD's going to do it. There will be no clean sweep this time around. Renegades are going to have to fight on the T side.
So TyLoo will stay just 1 step behind Renegades with that. They get around in at the end. The trio of Bentet, DD, and somebody punch another one through. And so it stays as close as possible as we drift into the second half of this first overtime. And maybe there's even more on the horizon if it stays like this. As what will Renegades do on their T side? Again, a lot of mind games go into overtime situations because you're trying to throw new things out there. You're trying to throw curveballs. You don't want to keep up the same thing. You've been throwing it at your opponent for a whole half. They know what to expect. You want to kind of be the step ahead mentally. Obviously, Renegades love double drop-down room with Azza and Ustillo. That's their bread and butter. So do you stick with that comfort? Do you use that to split A? Do you use that to hit the B-bomb site? Or do you put something new out there they haven't seen yet? I mean, those are the things that race through your head. For TyLoo, it's double op on CT side, which I don't think we've seen them do yet this game. So that is their new take. They're going to have Bintet with Captain Mo. And Bintet, obviously a capable player with the AWP in his hands. He's always been known to be quite versatile ever since his rise began. So definitely can see him having an impact with this on the B side of the map.
Back in Coop. Looking up to be long. Could be a plethora of bodies pushing his way. But Renegades, they're taking their sweet time. Coming down into drop again, as you highlighted in regulation, their bread and butter sort of plays. Incendiary out onto long is going to keep the CTs in position for a little while longer, but of course there's still going to be 50 seconds, vast amounts of time for Renegades to execute off. They only have one smoke left and a couple of flashes, and coming through, it's going to be Bintet that claims the first kill, but he's actually going to peek out and end up getting picked off. Azza with 2 is going to make amends for his previous mistake in the last round. And trying to wipe the slate clean. Oh, Captain Mo misses out on that shot, but not by much. And now both him and HZ have a huge task ahead of them. The climb starts now. Azza. And he's going to kneecap Captain Mo. He's going to have to drag his way across Will HZ. And now we're going to have Renegades with 2 more championship points.
Indeed, they will. Again, it's Azza from drop-down room, the usual suspect from his usual location, making a huge impact in the round. Nifty also great getting Bintet down, limiting him to 1 frag from Chicken Coop. That certainly helped things along. And so now they'll have 2 chances to win their first Asian minor. Or we'll see another OT from TyLoo. Either way, it's been such a great grand final. But let's see how it concludes.
You really couldn't ask for more from this game. It has been up and down. Both teams having chances to outright win. But Renegades, once again, looking down on TyLoo. Got to be finish this game off. TyLoo have plenty to play with. A full assortment of weaponry. Cannons, double cannon stack. Well, for the time being, before Captain Mo did pull himself back.
This could be so hard to break through. It's going to take just raw fragging at this point. The positioning for TyLoo is superior for an A hit. And they also even have a rotation coming in from DD already in connector.
HZ, can he get 2? Yes, he can. Double headshots. And that could force Renegades into applying more pressure on the wooden door side, and that is going to be a clean sweep for TyLoo. Renegades continually stumble on the last hurdle, but they're going to have one more crack at it before we go to the second overtime.
Yeah, again, that's what's on the line. 18-18 split leads to a second OT. Again, still MR3, 10K, and then the race would be to 22. But there's still a chance for Renegades to find the 19th. They still have a fairly good buy. In fact, they have it quite full. Opt for it, Nifty. AK utility set for everyone else. Head armor all included. They just ran into a trap on the A-bomb site that round. There's no other way to describe it. It's Bintet looking to get aggro here at B. Cracks the shot, finds nothing, but backpedals with no real damage exchanged. And it becomes all quiet for a moment as we actually see Nifty swing all the way back around the T-spawn to meet up with his teammates in the B lobby. So this will certainly be the focus. Will it be the drop-down room play again? It looks like it will.
Sound of mollies being extinguished in drop, much to the delight of TyLoo, I'm sure. No one's there playing a passive angle on each side. In connector, just outside on the B side as well. 55 seconds remain. This could be Renegade's shot, their chance. Will they take it? That's one hell of a way to start things off. Bentet's fallen. Nifty claiming the first blood on what could be the last round, and Az is going to put another nail in the coffin. Somebody is going to stand up tall. Beautiful double spray down. Is he going to be able to get a third one? Not quite. Nexa will take him out of the equation alongside Captain Mo. HZ and a 1-on-3 to save TyLoo. Well, Renegades are going to put themselves in the history books with this victory. There's the first. 2 more to go. He has a kit, but no nades. Oh, and both players are up on the platform. It's unlikely he'll expect them both to be here. Surely this is it, Dust. Surely this is where Renegades clutch and they take this round, and he's going to pick up another one, but it gets shut down in the back, and Renegades will win. They have finally lifted the curse and will take the minor finals for themselves. The PGL minor champions will be Renegades. 1917 in the end. Well deserved.
Indeed, the curse has been lifted. They finally win the Asian Minor. It started out in IEM Taipei like the loss to Mongols beginning of 2016. 2 losses to TyLoo. It's taken some roster changes. Same for TyLoo, but Renegades do hoist the trophy in Beijing. Not only do they get to claim the sweet victory of reaching the major qualifiers again, they also get that $30,000 cash, and they get the pride of saying they have a title. What a great first step for this new lineup.
Excellent. There's no doubting they've put themselves on the map, especially Nifty. Some of his performances were insane, but I definitely want to give a shout out to JKS in that map. He was a talisman. He was one of the guys that was doing the dirty work. He was getting entries. He was getting clutches. He was seemingly everywhere. So everyone on Renegades honestly had their moments in the spotlight, but I think JKS in particular in that finals was fantastic.
I think you could argue either one of Nifty or JKS to be the MVP, to be 100% honest with you. I think JKS actually outstatted Nifty overall in kills for the tournament, but obviously Nifty had so many memorable plays, so many highlight reel moments. So it really could go either way between those two. I think you could argue either's case, but there you have it. They're on stage, finally getting the relish and victory in an Asian Minor.
I'm sure they're absolutely delighted. The bunch of them just stood there basking in the glory of finally taking down TyLoo.
Peekaboo.
Hi.
How you doing, boys?
We're doing good. Just enjoying watching Renegades win for a change. I have to say, though, the key to beating these boys just seems don't buy any weapons.
Accurate, can't even deny.
What, 7 rounds were
7
scrappy
rounds in
buys?
that.
I actually saw a tweet out, someone tweeting that Renegades actually planned overtime so TyLoo wouldn't have to eco. And they won because of it.
Let's listen into the interview.
About you?
How I'm feeling? I'm feeling amazing.
太棒了.
Yeah.
You got to say something. You are the carry of the team.
No, I'm definitely not the carry, but no, I mean, you know, we work really well as a team. We worked really, really hard before this event. You know, I love these guys. They put in a lot of work individually. Everyone's growing as a person as well, so it's really, really good, man. We're really looking forward to the major qualifier, and we're going in confident.
Thank you very much. 他说我当然是只是一个团队的成员，我不能就是说这是我一个人的胜利。那我也很高兴看到我们的整个团队提升了很多，很高兴我们进入了 major 的 qualifier. All right, coach.
I don't know. I'm just happy.
我太高兴了，我不知道说什么。
Yeah, TyLoo's a great team. They've been lost twice in the past, and I'm happy to win this time. So.
我们之前输了2次，然后感谢我的队友，这次我们终于赢了。
This was like our second attempt or third attempt winning the minor, so it felt like it was our time. So.
我觉得第3次能够拿到这个比赛的冠军，感觉时来运转了。
Okay, so Renegades crowned as the champions for the first time at the Asia Minor at the 4th attempt. And gents, just get final thoughts from you two in the commentary booth.
It was just an excellent grand finals, man. It's everything you could hope for as a spectator, to get to see it go down to the wire on multiple occasions and to go all 3 maps, to take extra rounds to do it, and for Renegades to finally make history for themselves. Yeah, it was awesome to be a part of it.
Great final, wasn't it?
Yeah, we've had so many stomps in this event. It was great to have a finals that actually lived up to the hype, you know, and I'm so glad that we actually got to cast. That was awesome.
That was a great cast. Thank you very much, gents, and thanks for all your work over the last 4 days as well.
Cheers, mate.
All right, we are back at the panel right now with Blair and with Natu. We'll break down the final, talk about MVP for both the grand final itself and overall in the tournament. But it is Renegades that take the championship after what was, Blair, a sticky start to this tournament. When you think back 4 days, they did not look in good shape, did they?
Not at all. This has been a huge comeback, if you ask me, for Renegades. They finally broke the curse. They finally break the curse of losing in the finals, and they should be very happy with themselves. Everyone stepped up. Nifty was incredible as usual, but it was JKS who was just out of this world in our grand finals. And of course, TyLoo as well. He was not like really having the stats, but some of those kills he got just won them rounds. Great game overall from Renegades.
Yeah, you want a big player to step up in a final like this, don't you?
We definitely do, but they still do have work to do. Renegades do. I mean, they can't be too happy about it in the sense that they still lost 7, even 8 rounds against Scrappy Vice in the final map, and somehow still managed to win it on overtime. So I mean, there's always good to have things to work on. You will always do. It's a game of Counter-Strike, but then again, you know, you have to also look at the positives. I think Nifty being a positive story, JKS, like you guys said, Azar also had his moment. Pretty much the whole team, individually speaking. I think something that really defined the Renegades still in the big picture, even if they had some, you know, scrappy moments here and there. I thought they were actually way better in like all the afterplan situations and the way they approach retakes than their opposition. They really thought through the process of what do we need to do to be able to capitalize in those situations instead of going in individually, you know, giving our opponents the chance of winning unlikely situations.
Must drive their coach mad, though.
Yeah, I mean it does, obviously, and it's part of Counter-Strike. It's a game of who does least mistakes, right? So it's always going back to the drawing board, watching these demos, watching the VODs, and see the slight little things. You know, if they can come up with new protocols or rules of thumbs, depends what you want to call them, for certain different scenarios.
Great victory in the end, and as we said, it's come off the back of a very poor first day. They really struggled on that first day. I remember back thinking, Christ, they might lose to Signature in 3 here, because that looked a bit rough.
It did,
and here they are, overturning the curse for the first time in 4 Asia Minor Championships. 4 times they've been in the grand final. It's the first time they've won the title. It's a good title to win, not only because it takes them to the offline final, but also gives them the highest seed. They also win $30,000. But perhaps more importantly, some of the questions about the new 2 have definitely been answered here.
I guess we can make the conclusion that not a massive shift has happened in the Asian scene in the last, what, 6, 7, 8 months that it's been since the last Asian minor. Still the same teams. Okay, a little bit different lineups, but still the same cores are still up there.
Yeah, and the 2 new guys, you know, a lot of people were questioning this change earlier on, specifically the last one as well, sort of arguing, well, if you're going to bring a godlike leader, then great, but he wasn't even calling. And then there were questions about, well, why is he in the team, and is this Nifty guy really that good? Is he as good as Selfless made him out to be? I think those questions have been answered here, haven't they?
At one point, it felt like Fallen was probably smurfing there in the server, because he was in-game leading. He was hitting some of the nuttiest shots I've ever seen. Now, I watched Nifty, some of his demos and some of the VODs before he came into, before he came to Renegades, and he looked like a solid player, but it was always going to be JKS and Azar and TyLoo who's going to be, the mainstay of the team. And all of a sudden, this guy just explodes. He's calling in-game. And even Nexa, many people might be questioning why is he still in the team, considering he was brought in to be an in-game leader, but he had some pretty good moments. He was pretty solid. In fact, I think Azar was the weakest player for Renegades throughout his entire tournament, if you ask me. Although he had,
I was going to say, he still had massive moments as well.
He did have moments, but Nexa was actually consistently getting some pretty crucial kills. So overall, I think the 2 players, they've kind of stated, like, we're here to stay. They've proven this, especially Nifty, man. Like, crazy stuff.
Okay, we're going to talk about him more, but let's introduce you to the Mummy MVP of the final map in the grand final. There can only be one, and it's JKS, 4.07, not the greatest impact rating of the whole tournament, but 32 kills on the board and some really big trade kills in that matchup as well. And I said to Natu earlier on, when you have a big player in the team, you want the big player to be the big player on the grand stage. He's the Cristiano Ronaldo of the Champions League. He's got to score a couple of big goals, and he's done that here.
Absolutely. I mean, like, even keeping the grand finals aside, even yesterday when Renegades actually upset, I think it was Flash. Yep, when he upset Flash as well. JKS was actually, he didn't have the flashiest of kills, but the sheer consistent impact he had on almost every round, he just carried on till today. And he was definitely, even though, the impact rating was not that great, but also because it did go to overtime. But overall, I think he was definitely absolutely the beast of a player and the main reason that Renegades are the minor champions.
Okay, let's wrap up with the MVP of the tournament. Usually it comes from the winning team, so presumably it's a Renegades team. Is it Nifty? Is it JKS? Where's your vote?
I would still put for Nifty in my opinion. I mean, he came up in huge in a lot of situations that could have shifted the momentum to their opposition. I think he was a crucial part, both sides, CT and T opening plays, holding off opponents, I just overall, I think he was, like, throughout the tournament, he had the biggest impact still.
And if he'd had that round on Cash in the semi-finals of the Major, they'd be decorating the walls for him, wouldn't they?
Absolutely. Another graffiti right next to Simple's old one. But, okay, here's the thing, right? I've never been always a big fan of like the winning team's player being the MVP, but if we're going to take that into consideration, yes, it has to be Nifty.
Sure.
He had insane impact, and even though he really didn't step up or really perform on day one, with the work he did in all the playoff games, it's insane. But if
you can't forget Bentet,
you can't forget Bentet, because if we just look at TyLoo's run, it came down to overtime, the final map, right? Yeah. And if you just look at the impact he had, apart from Cobblestone, this is the one map where DD actually, really stepped up, and Benton was kind of in the middle. He still wasn't bottom frag, he was still kind of in the middle. But keeping that aside, if you look at all the wins they had, Benton was just the biggest impact player this entire tournament. So if you're not going to be considering the winning team, I would say Benton would be.
It can only be the winning team.
No, I don't know.
You can give it honorary
Tommy
mention.
convinced me a little
you
while
can
back.
give it honorary mention to the guy that's. I mean, obviously for TyLoo, he was the MVP, and he's right now the best asset that Asian Counter-Strike or CS:GO scene has. Definitely, and he could step up to the plate on even bigger stages. 100% sure. But I think that always has to be the winning team because they won the tournament. They'll.
Yep.
It's just the way it goes.
You don't have to convince me. Tommy convinced me of this earlier in the year. We had a long argument about it, and I thought, he's kind of right. Yeah, you have to go with the winning team. We are coming to the end of our show, unfortunately. It has been a fantastic 4 days of Counter-Strike. We've seen some really interesting Counter-Strike from the Asian region. Some of it not quite as potentially polished as we've seen from other regions, but they are definitely on their way up. 2 teams have qualified through to the offline finals. Be very interesting to see how TyLoo and Renegades get on against the rest of the world when that comes around. Thank you very much to all of our people on the show, to all of the commentary team, and to the observers, and of course all of our panel members and everyone here at PGL. It has been a great 4 days, as I said, and it hasn't even begun yet. There are plenty more minors ahead. Don't forget, NA first. That's next up. We've also got EU coming, and we've got the offline finals before we even get to Krakow. It's going to be a great couple of months of Counter-Strike. We can't wait for you to join us. Thanks very much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.